Worldwide Podcast. You feel it. Some days I feel defeated, feel like giving up on my dreams. Yeah. I'm on a fast train, on the road to hell, and nothing going right. Nothing going right, it seems. My day-to-day struggle, it makes me feel like I lost the way. And that weight, it feels so heavy that I carry from day to day. But it's gonna be alright. Gonna have a good night in heaven. Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be alright, 'cause I'm gonna have a long night in heaven. Lord, help me find my way, yeah. 'Cause I feel like I'm losing this battle more and more each day, while everyone around me seems to prosper more and more. And every time I turn around, life closes another door. But it's gonna be alright, 'cause I'm gonna have a long night in heaven. But it's gonna be alright, 'cause I'm gonna have a long night in heaven. Been a long, hard fight. I can't give up now. I've come too far. Can't give up now. It's been a long, hard fight. I can't give up now. I've come too far. I can't give up now. It's been a long, hard fight. I've come too far. It's been a long night. Time coming, I can't give up. Alright, in heaven.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. You live at the breakfast table with Pastor Jack. We got a hot show for you today, man. Don't miss it. Call your friends, call your homies, tell them tune in.
Hey family, this is Paula G. Voice with the Quiet Storm Devotion.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
All right, family, thank you for tuning in to At the Breakfast Table with Pastor Jack and Sam Brown. Have a great show.
It is what it is. Listen, There's a story told about a kindergarten teacher who asked a boy what was he drawing. Without pausing to look up at her, he said, a picture of God. The teacher smiled and responded, but nobody knows what God looks like. The boy carefully put his crayon down, looked her squarely in the eyes, and said, they will when I'm finished. I come this morning real quick to tell you, whatever you coloring with, whatever's in your hand, whatever you're dealing with, God is using it. Whatever you have, you can still make a masterpiece out of what you think is a mess. Whether you're coloring out of the lines, whether you're making a mistake, whether you're all over the page, God still looks at it and says, that is a perfect picture. Good morning, you're live at the Breakfast Table with Pastor Jack. I got Sam Brown on the line. I got my lady, the first lady of the Breakfast Table. Dot is with the, oh, it's Black History Month, man.
Yes.
Black Panther is killing in the box office. And black people, you know, I tweeted, and Dr. Passa, you would appreciate this, I hope. I tweeted maybe about a couple days ago, because it just hit me that being black is like wearing a designer line or clothing line every day of your life. I mean, you don't even have to get dressed up to be bad when you're black. So
Absolutely.
It's just good. Will you say that?
I said absolutely.
Yeah, I love being black. Somebody started a Twitter hashtag, I love my blackness and yours. You can't help but enjoy Black Twitter. Let me tell you something. Don't let Black Twitter get a hold of anything. Black Twitter get a hold of it, you are considered toast, man. So it's Black History Month, and I'm enjoying the fact that we as black people are rising in spite of and despite of all of the depression that the government wishes to put upon us. We steadily rising, and I'm appreciative of that. And so in that same vein, I just want to talk about black stuff, like what's going on in the black community. I already said the Black Panther is killing in the box office. Do you realize I can't even get tickets to take some kids, some students, probably for about 3 weeks because it's sold out here for weeks. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
You're going to wait patiently.
Okay. I'm going to have to because I'm not going to bootleg it like, you don't bootleg black. Keep it above ground. The black movie. But Doc, talk to us about the institution of what we know of as Black History Month, which was spawned out of a week from a brilliant man who I believe to be one of your mentors in although he's in absentia.
The first assignment she gives in freshman comp.
You know what I'm talking about?
Is Miseducation of the Negro.
Absolutely. It should be right beside your Bible. I'm going to step out there and say that for your life. To get your black substance. Carter G. Woodson, again, one of my favorite scholars of all time. What intrigues me the most about him and what makes me hold him to high regard is the fact that this man was really, really very serious about the plight of black people and didn't have a problem calling out other black scholars whose lofty theories and philosophies that, you know, were also engaged at that particular time that may not have been as, that sound good, but how are you going to do it? So that was Carter G. Woodson for me. He was my man that, you know, called people out. He's like, listen, I'm just as smart as you are. I have those same credentials, but how does that move the masses forward? So when you want to start moving the masses forward, then come talk to me. You know, that's what I appreciate him about him the most. And I think the two of you all are like that as well. So don't come talk to me unless you're about that action.
Already, no. Listen, now, would Carter Woodson be pleased with the plight of the black community as he has helped to lay out a blueprint in this miseducation of the Negro?
I think that he would not necessarily be displeased about the black community, but I think that he will most certainly be very disenchanted with black leadership or the lack thereof.
I would agree completely. I think, I was watching Angel Rye on The Daily Show not too long ago, and she was commenting on how black people ought to begin, or in this wave of the election, we need to start thinking in the mindset of a Tea Party, more like a black party within the Democratic Party in order to help move the leadership and move some of the black agenda along. I agree, but I think that we're a little too late in having the conversation. We should have been talking about this around the time we all knew, because we knew well before Trump was elected that Trump might be elected. And so that's when he should have said, wait a minute, something ain't right here. And let's start galvanizing ourselves in a way that we don't allow this type of hatred to continue. So I think we're a little bit behind, but we shall see what happens. Sam, have you got anything in that wise?
I mean, I think that, and just keeping on with the subject of Black History Month, I think it's all the more important for us to get engaged, especially now in 2018 with this election year coming up, because it's important for us to take charge of our plight and be able to tell our own story and take charge of our own destiny. And I think that our participation in all matters, civic and economic and political, and be it, domestic or on the world stage, I think it's important for, listen, I know I'm probably sounding like Garvey now, but I think it's important for all of, African peoples of the world to unite in this moment, and even if we want to expand it to all people of color, I think now is the time for us to really realize the strength and the influence that we have to really step up and make a difference for the way some of us are continuing to be treated and continue to live in this country. So, yeah, it's time. Like Doc said, it's time to be about action.
About that action, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm tired of panels. I'm tired of. I went to this panel discussion the other day. They were talking about the history of race relations and the Methodist Church, and so they talked about that whole story of about the AME Church and the AME Zion Church and the circumstances behind them being founded. And so one of the ladies in the audience, as we were talking about the difference and the comparison between Black Methodism and White Methodism, and it's the same doctrine, we believe the same thing about God and Jesus, she raises her hand and she said, well, do the AMEs and the AMEs, do they go to school? Or no, do they go to seminary? You see what I'm saying? And so I couldn't help but to acknowledge and say, just the fact that, she asked this question, lets us know that we still have a very, very long way to go. You see what I'm saying? And it was amazing. I was flabbergasted.
You know what? The bishops that we lost that were so dear to me in the past 6 years just turned over. Do we go to school or what? If no one in the church clergy of the universe is trained, a Zionite most definitely is.
Yeah.
Or you will not be heading anyone's church.
Most definitely.
Without those credentials and a calling by God. So we need two things.
Right.
So yes, tell them we've been educated and anointed, identified, certified, and sanctified.
All of that.
No, she didn't. But Sam, if I could comment on what you said about this, unity, I believe that, African peoples of the world are already united by the fact of, us just sharing melanin. What we lack is a consciousness of that. And it's that consciousness paired with character that, you boast of those things, then I believe that other things will fall into place. I mean, as people, we have got to rise above this reactionary state. I mean, even, the birth of African-American literary tradition, most scholars believe that it's reactionary as opposed to being proactive. And, I beg to disagree. However, in the context in which it is brought about, historically, I understand that argument. So, I want to shift the move from being reactionary to stuff to let's be proactive. The people can see and tell when bad things are coming. It's like, how bad do things have to be before you decide, one, let me start by just registering to vote. Because that in and of itself ensures a voice for you.
Right.
Absolutely.
So until we can get those things together, I think that, us, even sitting here talking on the, your program or what have you, if you're not registered to vote, I'm really not sure how impactful you can be, because that's where your voice needs to be heard first. Then, address all these other things and hold these leaders accountable for what they say they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Goodness.
So I'm not sure about a tea party. I mean, unless you want I don't know, black tea party or just a black party, to go back to Marcus Garvey. I mean, we have everything we need to be wherever it is we desire.
Well, you remember what happened
we
last
just don't.
time we had a black party, the Black Panther party. Yeah.
Yes, but we also had right. We had a white party called the FBI.
Yeah.
who were always uninvited. That somehow infiltrated it and made things a whole lot worse than what they had to be. But anytime you are charismatic and you can galvanize young black men, then you are a problem. But we need those people to be hold strong in those problems, just to stand still and stand tall in those problems and say, listen, if I don't do it, then who else is going to do it? God gave me these innate abilities or capabilities and put the right people around me to foster that and to develop me. When am I going to take my rightful place and just stand? I don't have a problem being a martyr for black people. I have no problem, because I would be in great company. Jesus the Christ was a martyr for black people. Marcus Garvey, W.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, and it goes on and on. I might be beside Carter G. Woodson. Who knows? We don't want to forget Maria Stewart and Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman, our illustrious Zionites. And, I'll be in great company. So it's kind of like, okay, I have to stop running from my purpose in life and realize what it is. And if it's not to move my people forward or people who look like me, then I'm not really sure why you do what you do.
Let me ask you this, Doc. You weren't on with us last week, but since you're talking about black people coming together, let me get your thoughts, if I may, Clarence. Interject. Let me get your thoughts on the situation with Monique asking us to boycott Netflix, and considering all the information that has come out. I'm going to go ahead and tell you my stance. Okay, so I think that it's unfair that they offered her a substantially amount less than they offered Amy Schumer and the other individuals she named. My thing was, I think it's convenient how black celebrities in times like this, whenever they're not nominated for an Oscar or not getting paid for this or didn't get this part or whatever, they cry out, "Oh, my people, stand with me. Let's not support this. Let's boycott this." But I don't recall.
With there.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, I'm still here.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
I think we can.
Okay, I thought somebody said they lost Sam. I don't recall any time Monique using her platform or her celebrity to speak to, I guess, the present stuff that we're going through now, police brutality, even with, something as direct as the Flint water crisis. I haven't seen her mention anything. I don't know what she's done about that. So, okay, that's my stance on it. You take it, Doc.
Okay, so I want to go about this with a high level of sensitivity, but also remain, stand in my own truth. I really don't find her issue to be a hot button issue in Black America. And it seems like the environment does a very good job of creating these distractions, or what we call a Jedi mind trick, to kind of get us off of what is important right now. I remember I was on the interview committee for, head football coach at Livingstone, and one of them came in and said, my philosophy is win. And he said that stands for what's important now. So what's important right now is not how much more money she gets. I'm sorry, I can't care about that. As long as we have a president in office who does what he does. Now, if she wants to say, you're not paying me enough and we have Donald Trump or something of that nature, I'm not invested in that particular plight. I'm just not. I'm not invested in it, because she wasn't thinking that whenever she went after, godly, the guy's name escapes me, but Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry. So it's kind of like, you put yourself out there and now somebody snatched your line. So now you want everybody to turn and follow what you're doing. We have bigger fish to fry. Miss Ma'am, you have made enough money.
Can I jump in real quick? Can I just jump in?
Sure.
Real quick. My issue with the whole deal is this. You have a millionaire who it has in the news or in the media has been not accused, but has been reported to have several defunct marriages and have to pay out this and having new kids and all these kinds of things. And has never spoken for but she has done some against some of our major Black people in the media. But now she comes out mad because she has more money. You put her up against someone like Tracy Ellis Ross, who, when her contract and other, I guess what you would say, financing and or payments were discussed, she said, "I am embarrassed that my information was made public. However, I do feel that if I am not given the same amount of money and or resources, I would much rather step away from some of the shows that I'm going to be featured in on Blackish." So I can see how she's taking her stance in a private way. Nobody can. You have Black people in America who are scratching to survive. And so they're like, look, if somebody give me a $500,000 check, it's like, tell me what it's time. Because I have bigger issues than to be able to say that they're not giving me enough money. My issue is you went to Netflix. Netflix did not come to you. You went, it's no different than anybody else going to apply for a job. The job says, we'll give you the job, but you have to sit for an interview, and this is the salary that we'll offer you. Regardless of what we offer the next man, this is the salary that we're going to offer you for the job that you applied for. We did not seek you out. Therefore, you're not going to come in here making demands. And so, and then now, and she's from Baltimore. If anything, speak out against the heating in the schools here in the city. Speak out against the murders that are tripling many of the other major cities in America. speak out about those issues as opposed to whether or not you're making $500,000 or not.
Yeah, I'm not interested in maintaining your lifestyle.
I'm sorry. And you that's your lifestyle. You and your new husband and twins.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I got my own. I'm not going on TV saying I got 2 little kids and this, that, the third. No. I need to.
Maybe we should.
Or GoFundMe for just black people stuff. We got to pay for Big Mama's prescriptions and stuff. We got to pay for all the people that's behind when they. We got to pay.
Whatever.
I mean, again, I just think there's a time and a place for everything. And again, as a woman, I can, identify with the fact that I would like to be treated fairly. And I'm, very much invested in equity. However, in spite of what we got going on right now, you really think that this is a time for you to, champion that cause? Because, although she's saying she's doing it for other black women, to me, it just sounds a little selfish.
And I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to leave this here for whomever, wherever, and whatever. If you think, Monique, that I'm going to deactivate my Netflix account that I'm not even paying for because you're not getting enough money, you can kick rocks and sandals. If you think that I'm the plethora of shows that Netflix offers me for free, baby, let me tell you something. I got to call me later, Monique. I tell you, call me.
Let y'all battle it out, Baltimore style.
And it's gonna be what it is.
I mean, it's just signs of, again, what I call poor character. And when I see things like that, like when you don't, lack of integrity and all these other things, where you don't understand that everything is not about you. Again, it makes me understand why Jesus wept. I mean, because what can you do? It's like nothing, no conversations, we can have, we can't put together a black think tank that would impact that, to change your mindset. You're fighting for things that you're trying to make people who have way less than you care about. I mean, what is Netflix? $9.99 a month?
Right.
I don't know. But what I
it?
do know is,
I think it's $9.99 a month, something like that.
She better go on.
I mean, I'm sorry, I can't care.
That's really what it is. I can't care.
Yeah, I cannot care. I can't care. But I would if it's okay with you all, because, again, I don't want to overstep my boundaries. This is clearly you all's lane, and I'm going to let y'all drive this car. I wanted to know what you all thought about the teacher who had the prompt about having the young children name good things about slavery. And the mom in uproar over that. It kind of reminded me of an ongoing argument I had at, Livingstone with a particular professor who was non-black,
exactly
whose assignment was justify slavery. And I said, I know you don't think that is okay to even for you to initiate that conversation by point of your entry into that conversation. Again, I could not believe how you could even fashion your mind, not alone a writing prompt, to young children, 3rd, 4th grade, who are just learning their black history on a deeper level, to justify a concept that is inherently wicked in its inception. I'm not really sure what she was trying to accomplish with that, other than to instill low self-efficacy, which, most of our children have anyway, because they're always told don't, and you're too much, and you're too active, and we need to medicate you, or put them over here, or put them in this special class, and all of that. Can you imagine the damage that could do if she had gotten away with that for the next, 9 years that they're in school?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The damage that it can do with that. I mean, you are pretty much reinforcing an inferiority complex that some of us, already struggle with on a daily by virtue of the fact we are the byproducts of slavery.
Okay.
So I don't know how I would have answered that. I don't. I mean, we don't talk about the Holocaust like that. We don't talk about other forms of genocide the way we freely and I guess cheerfully talk about slavery.
Yeah.
In the United States, which is the worst that ever existed.
Right.
So I'm not really sure. I didn't know how you all, talked about that. What'd you say, Mr. Brown?
No, I was saying, I think of the whole antebellum era and everything that comes along with that entire culture, including slavery, is romanticized. Even with the recent release of these, movies, that are coming out, I think that it's almost kind of nostalgic for a lot of white people. Yeah. Almost like a place where many of them would like to get back to, honestly.
And I think that more importantly, the white community wants this new wave of black brains to find that slavery hurt a lot of people. They're trying to pull on the heartstrings of these kids in that children are innately emotional. They're innately loving. They're innately caring. They are mean creatures because they don't know how to not tell the truth. And so that is hard in some instances, but children love to love. And so when you tell a child that, look at all the people who had to suffer as a result of the Civil War and as a result of the ending of slavery and these things, you look at all the families who were displaced, not the black families, they're just calling them families, new families, all these, and as an educator to these secondary students, I find myself between what we would consider a rock and a hard place, because it's like I don't want to lose my job, but I'd be damned if I'm going to tell a child that slavery was anything more than a travesty to a complete culture of people. And so you're not going to tell me that without the destruction of one land, this new freedom land was created. You can't. I'm not buying that. And so, unfortunately, and I dare not say this, but unfortunately, I do not allow my students to read verbatim out of a textbook because it is untrue. It has been romanticized, crossed over for somebody's pockets or for somebody's profit, and I will not. I refuse. I cannot because.
What was the textbook in Texas? The mom, he brought the textbook home, and it said that when they talked about slavery, it said that they were immigrants.
As if they had a choice.
Yeah, called them immigrant workers.
As if they had a choice. I mean, again, just a plight to desensitize you to the atrocities of that and to let you see that we wouldn't have a capitalist society without the institution of slavery. And this is why you have a Donald Trump who can think the way that he does, because he absolves himself from any type of accountability and responsibility to people who made it so that you can prosper. I mean, I almost wanted to give my house back when I found out that J.P. Morgan had something to do with the institution of slavery. I couldn't believe I'm sitting here paying a mortgage to a company, that made its money off the backs of slaves. It just made me sick to my stomach. I could not believe it. And I am well-rounded as a reader, a scholar, historian, all of that. But when it was time for me to buy my house, did not do my research on who was holding my mortgage. So it's almost like I'm perpetuating that in the 21st century because, the merchandise has changed, but I'm still paying you for something that I should have for free because you made your money off of the backs of people who created me.
Yes, sir. And let me tell you, my listeners out there, all you thousands of people, let me tell you something about Dr. Herschel Proctor. When she found out that her mortgage, this is the first time I'm hearing this, but let me tell you something about her. She couldn't sleep one night.
Absolutely not.
What? Let me tell you something. Somebody got an earful. It may have been a homegirl. It was somebody. Do you know? Let me tell you something. So y'all, let me tell you something. So that's just the type of people that we're dealing with. I gotta get out of Sam real quick. Some what's happening in the news because I got a message that people like this, like the news and how we spin that. So Sam, do you have anything in the breaking news?
Yeah. I'm trying to pull. If I close my pad up, we were into the conversation. Give me a little bit.
So as a scholar in Black studies or the Africana studies, will we ever experience the Mecca as we profess and preach, or have professed and preached over the years?
Will we ever experience it? That's a great question in that I'm not really sure people understand what a Mecca is. So it's like, okay, sometimes you have these experiences that you're not even really fully conscious or aware of that this is what you're experiencing. So I can't really answer that with any type of, concrete answer for you. All I can say is that I have to be encouraged and, remain encouraged and inspire, the Black faces that I love so dearly that come through my classroom to make yourself your best investment, because others are not going to. And Blackness, a huge part of that Blackness is your knowledge, and it has to have substance. So you can't continue to live life by being Black by default, meaning you had two Black parents and therefore you're Black. There's a substance that goes along with that. And I think that that's what we're missing. And when people understand that you have to do your own work, just like trying to be a better Christian, you just don't accept Christ and then life just, the heavens just open. No, you need to study. You need to understand that the Bible teaches you discipline. You need to know what the word is, and you have to work on that. And I think that when we can impart on other Black people or the masses of Black people that this is really what a true education is, then I don't think that people even care whether we experience a Mecca or anything or shoot, I'm just stuttering right now because it's just that powerful to me, or an oh happy day. Like it's not coming. It's not, because it starts within you and what you know, and then it radiates from, outward.
Wow. Okay, I think are you ready?
Yes. That was good. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to comment on what Dr. Proctor just said. When you think about experiencing this Mecca of sorts, what are some of the things you think that we should focus on? And individually, you say focus on yourself, becoming your best self, but in our communities, in our families, there's so much brokenness. There's so much discord that we can never begin to galvanize, because the truth of the matter is we really don't like each other.
We don't like ourselves.
Yeah, we don't, there's so much self-loathing and self-hate in our community that we don't want to get together because we're always trying to compete.
Absolutely. And one of the ways that I would say that you can address that or attack that, and again, this takes a lot of time, and it takes like a relearning of self or re-education of what it means to be Black in America, but and not even that grand. Just, starting with one, understanding who you are as a person. If you can't identify very clearly with an ethnicity or although race is socially constructed, or a race, if you will, because they always want us to check boxes, then you can't begin to delve deeper because you don't have a starting point. Now, for me, my starting point is God, and I look at God as all things that are absorbed and, just the ultimate center of wisdom and knowledge. But if you, look, let me parallel this to Black or Blackness. Black, is everything absorbed where white is everything reflected. I'm not interested in reflecting and repelling all of these things. I'm interested in absorbing stuff so that I can impact other people with what it is that I know. I always tell you all, I will always be the woman I tell you I am, and that's based on what I know. Not what somebody told me, what I took time to figure out about myself. So if you can't figure out yourself, then you can't, one, reach out and help someone else figure out themselves and so on and so forth. So you can't be a family when your family doesn't know who you are and the rich history and legacy that you come from and the history that's made in your own family. During segregation, I didn't know that my mom was the first Black junior varsity cheerleader at her school. That's history. So how do you think that made me feel now that I'm running my mouth like this? It's kind of like part of my legacy to be screaming from the mountaintop, hey, it's something. Y'all listen, we got it messed up. Let's cheer the team on. Just something as simple and small as that made me feel good about who I am and the woman I came from.
Awesome.
So it has to start with that. Go ahead, Sam.
No, you're fine. I was just want to switch gears to some news. This was something that was very interesting that just came across the desk here. The ethics office at the White House unofficially, that's in quotes, unofficially okays a legal defense fund, listen to this, for White House staffers. This is coming from CNN. White House officials and former Trump campaign aides embroiled in the Russia investigation could soon see their legal bills covered by an outside legal fund. Outside lawyers created a limited liability company called the Patriot Legal Express Fund Trust, LLC, which will raise money from donors to pay legal expenses for multiple individuals, according to emails between those attorneys and a government agency. A handful of White House officials are already in line to receive funding. A source familiar with the deliberations told CNN. So Jackson, what do you have to say?
Sam, this is a serious conversation.
It is very serious.
We have to stop laughing.
I want somebody to put it right now. Somebody going.
Oh,
so you mean a millionaire billionaires club needs a welfare handout? Are you kidding me?
That's what it says. And that's what I start thinking about. I'm thinking,
government
on this cabinet, who in the heck on this cabinet makes less than $5 million a year? Please tell me. I don't know. I thought that was the whole plan, that he's going to get all his billionaire friends. They're apparently very smart because they have all this money, and so they're going to get together and use their expertise. And it's like, y'all looking kind of just not, I don't want to say dumb. It's like you all are looking more and more incompetent.
Strictly.
That's a great word.
Look.
Incompetent and tomfoolery.
It's not scholarly. The writer,
which means God ain't nowhere up in there. I'm sorry. I cut up with you all, but yeah, if it doesn't make sense, then God is not up in there, and I cannot mess with it. So I can't. It's got to bring some air of truth and wisdom and worthiness. Jesus Christ. Right. He's crying now.
No, he wept before. At this moment, there's a wailing going on.
Here. Bye.
The writer puts it like this, y'all. He said, lift every voice till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise, high as the listening sky. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stoning the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod. Felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat. Have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed? We have come over a way that with tears have been walking. We have come, treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past. Till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on thy way, Thou who hast by thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. God bless you. You've been on Live at the Breakfast Table with Pastor Jack.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
All right, family, you just heard At the Breakfast Table with Pastor Jack. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Please share this file. Very important information that needs to go out to our communities. We need to know who we are. We do know who we are, but we need to spread that message. Let it go further to those that are not connected. I'm Jerry Royce Live Worldwide with Positive Power, XI. Next up is Next Man Up with Dr. Paul Kelly, Neva Boyd, Pastor Gerald Irvin, and gospel acting model Demo Denard. So tune in at 10 o'clock. We'll be right back. I'm Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Positive Power, XI Christian Media. And Grace Saturday.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of XI.
Positive Power 21.org Internet Radio.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Can you feel the power? 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 Feel the power of XI.